So I'm thrilled to say in the studio today we have Peter Cox, which is a co-producer and writer for Backyard Ashes. Thank you so much for coming in today, Peter. What can you tell us about Backyard Ashes and what inspired you to actually co-write this great film?
Yeah, well, thanks very much for having me. Yeah, the film started probably 10 years ago. We talked about the idea. Yeah, I threw the idea with a mate, you know. It's one of those, you're walking around the lake, going for a walk and having a chat, a few ideas, over a couple of drinks every now and then, and we decided that backyards were such an important part of Australian life for all sorts of events, you know, whether it's weddings, funerals, christenings, births, the lot, you know, and all the different holidays. And usually those days end up with a game of backyard cricket. So we're talking about how important that was, and then we just talked about, and I've always enjoyed my cricket and also my backyard cricket, and the idea developed from there into this concept of what happens if it was next door neighbour was a pom, and what sort of things would go on if they lived next door, and that sort of led to the outline of the story. And then about 4 years ago I started actually writing it with the director, Mark Grentel. So we actually started writing the screenplay itself, you know. I
can't believe you've actually got some really big names in this film. And one of them, that stood out for me, the Gold Logie winner, John Wood.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, Mark met him at an event sometime, and they were just talking about what they were doing. Mark as a director and John as an actor, and he said, "Well, I'm actually in the middle of casting this film that we've put together, this low budget film, and it's about backyard cricket." He said, "Oh yeah," and he spots for me, and he said, "Well, have a read.
Oh wow,
you know, we'd love to have you involved." And there were a couple of spots, and he got back to us immediately. He said, "I'm in." So and once he got in, we picked up Lex Marinos, he was in the Slap, and he goes way back to Kingswood country. Lex said, "Well, if Woody's in, I'm in," and then we started to build from there. So a lot of people wanted to come aboard because of that sort of event, which is great.
That is great. Now, we've heard about what's inspired you, but what was some of the fun and highlights? Because it would have been a great film there would have been a lot of funny.
It was a lot of fun, yeah. Actually, we filmed all in Wagga.
Yes, all in Wagga in Mark's grandma's backyard.
The backyard. We were looking for yards and where we were going to film it. And we stood there, and there was his grandmother's backyard, and there was a gap in the fence which we needed right to his parents' backyard. I mean, what are we doing? What are we looking for? There it was, right there. So that was the impetus for the set. And there's a couple of older characters that looked down from these flats, and there was a flat right there. So it was sort of perfect. So that was really exciting, and we could film it there. But during the event, we had to fit it into 24 days of shooting, which was very tight.
Yes.
But we had regular backyard matches afterwards. After everyone had sort of we finished shooting, 7 till probably 7:30 at night, and we'd finish shooting, and we'd have a bit of a barbecue and a bit of a quite ale, because it was quite hot. And then eventually it turned into a big cricket match, and one night there went for ages, really late, and it was probably 60 people, because it was the crew and the cast and everyone playing, and we had good lights. So there were some funny cricket matches going on. Yeah.
And your favourite saying throughout the movie? Is there one?
Oh well, I mean, I really like John Wood's, which is in the trailer. Dougie Waters, which is the main character. A legend in his own backyard. But there's some lines that people are picking up and enjoying, and that's been one of the benefits of the film, that the reaction we've been getting from, say, 10-year-olds and under, right through to the elderly. They're really it's a really broad demographic. Everyone seems to really enjoy it because everyone's had a backyard.
Yeah, who hasn't? Had a
and their backyard cricket. And I think that's what's been thing. They used to, and they've got great memories and stories themselves about
people can relate.
Backyard. Yes, that's right. There's a resonance amongst all these sort of people that that's been an uncle or an auntie or one of the kids or a dog or or a neighbour. There's all something that they can relate to in the film that they find really amusing. That reminds them of their great fun they've had in backyards.
Well, you're airing. The show's going to be, or the film's going to be playing tonight at the Wagga Wagga Cinema Centre.
Yeah, I think there's an afternoon session which is probably almost gone, but there's one at 6:40, and we'll have a question and answer afterwards. I'll be there. And
if they miss tonight's film, where would they go to see it?
I think it's running for a while in Wang. It'd be great. It'd be great in Wagga. I think it's got a bit of a run. Just check the website.
Yes.
But it's been running in Albury up north. It's been running a lot of regional centres. We haven't gone to the cities yet, even though it did open last night in a suburb in Melbourne. So we're going to all these sort of different regional cities. In Bendigo is this lovely old art cinema in it's called the Star Cinema at Eaglehawk in Bendigo. So it's sort of those regional places that are really taking to it, because that's where it was made.
Yeah.
It belongs to those regional centres, even though I think the city folk.
And we need to support our Australian movies, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
So,
I agree. We do. We
yeah.
really need the support, and it's a very low budget film. Doesn't look like that, I must be honest. We were
from
very
the
lucky to
trailer
have
that I
some.
saw looks
Yeah, we had a
fantastic.
wonderful director of photography, Damien Wyville, who just came just before we shot our film. He just came from Great Gatsby as a second in charge there, you know.
Oh, wow.
So, and he's done a lot of Baz Luhrmann stuff, and I think he also filmed Goddess, which is just recently an Australian film. Wonderful cinematographer, and he was a great guy, very generous and creative. So it's really beautifully shot for a film made in a backyard. And it's made in a pub, and there's a few other places.
There's a few other little places around Wagga.
But he has done a great job with it, and we're very excited with the crew we had involved in it. So yeah, that was one side of it. But it was most of the money was financed by Wagga people.
Wow.
Pretty well financed by. We just got investors from friends, family, business people.
That's fantastic.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
So it really belonged to. And one of the things we've talked in, because we've been going to a lot of regional cities, just like Wangaratta, Bendigo, they're really good places to make films.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine the support that we got would be just as welcome in some of these places. Yeah, people loved having the film made in Wagga. It's still running there, and they're packing it out. It's been great, you know. But I think that would be the same anywhere. Yeah,
this is true. Well, is there any films coming up for you going forward? Do you think you're doing another one?
I probably wouldn't. I co-produced this one, and it took a lot of time, and it was a big learning curve for me. I think Mark Grentel, and Anne Robinson, who was the other producer, who actually that's her job. She is a producer.
Yes.
She was fantastic, and she brought a lot of the crew and creatives with her. But they'll make more. I'll be happy to write more. I really enjoyed the writing process, and I've written for theatre a lot, but I really enjoyed writing for film. I'll probably write more. I don't think I'll put my hand up too quickly to produce, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a big job. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Peter. It's been fantastic to meet you, and I'm hoping that it's such a success. It looks great. It sounds great. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of laughs.
Thank you.
with it.
Yeah, I think people from Wangaratta will really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think they'll really appreciate it, and that means by come Boxing Day they'll be out there playing backyard cricket again.
Yeah, that's
great. They'll all be having a hoot. Yeah.
All right, so go and see the Backyard Ashes. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Peter.
Thank you for your support.